Something remarkable happened today. So I'm driving into work, and I come in from NoFo on 7th Street.
Uh-huh.
All right? So coming down 7th Street out of Moon Valley area. All right? And as I'm driving along, the speed limit goes, it's about 45 as you go up around the cliffs there, Tapatio Cliffs or whatever. Is that what it is? Or is that the hot sauce?
No, it's Tapatio. Easy spot for a potential speed trap.
Yeah, but I never see one there. But then again, I don't speed, so maybe that's why. So you come down and then you get by the Armory as you're headed south, which is I was doing. It drops to 40, and then it goes down to 35.
So were you coming down Cave Creek, or did you go to the 51?
No, 7th Street.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I go past the Armory at 7th Street, coming down there, and goes to 35 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And I was going 35 miles an hour. And I didn't have people trying to zip past me at 100 miles an hour. In fact, I think for the first time in over a year, nobody tried to pass me. Other cars were doing the speed limit, which makes me wonder if maybe there was a speed trap and I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because normally people just can't. They got
to do 50 or 55.
Gosh, they got ants in their pants. It's like everybody's got to go pee. They're all just rushing to the next place.
They got to get to lunch, or they got to drop off that package, or they're running late to work.
You know, I like to complain about speeders, and I'm not a big fan of speeding. I don't see the value in it. The risk is not worth the reward when it comes to speeding. But we have this mindset that we are entitled to go as fast as we feel comfortable to do, as though speed limits are an arbitrary restriction on our liberties. They're only set up there to make us angry. They are goals. They're not limitations, they're baselines. Or as Bruce St. James says, they're merely suggestions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder if there are other traffic laws that we can apply that to. Yeah. So, for instance, red lights.
Oh, don't get me started.
Well, they're merely suggestions.
Oh.
All it is a color in the sky. Why do I have to stop? Simply because there's a flashing red light in the sky? Why should I stop? That's merely a suggestion. It's my God-given right to go as fast as I want through every intersection. It's not as though it's there for safety. Go ahead.
You know I like to run at night.
Oh, yeah.
I
bet you love it when people go flying through those red lights.
A dozen times, especially late at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, if no other cars are around.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it apparently was written into our Constitution. No other cars are around. You show up at a red light. You can either just crawl through it or
don't even touch the brakes.
Or stop and go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you can just do whatever the heck you want.
I
didn't know this.
As a pedestrian.
I thought you had to stop and wait until the light turned green. I missed the memo.
You didn't get it.
As a runner, I am very concerned that I have seen numerous cars.
Yeah.
Red light, boom. Stop signs, also late at night. I didn't realize it only applied when the sun was up.
That's true. You didn't know that?
No,
yeah.
I did not get that briefing.
Well, only if the stop sign has has a white ring around the outside.
Huh.
Yeah. Or if the letters are written in white, then it's a suggestion. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Man, I need to be more careful as a runner.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
That's why I almost always
go
behind cars when I see them now. Even if they stop and wait for me, I go behind them.
But the point is, why is it that when it comes to speeding, we don't recognize that has been instituted for safety reasons? That those are there to prevent other people from putting us in danger and from us to putting other people in excessive danger. The limits are put there for a reason, and that reason is not to challenge you to break them. In the same way that a red light is not there to challenge you to go faster through it, right? How about texting and driving? Oh, they only put the law in because they think I'm texting too slow. I bet if I text much faster, then it would be better.
What about seatbelts? I mean, those technically secondary violation if you don't wear it. But, I mean, shouldn't you be wearing your seatbelt at all times?
No, of course not. The reason it's a law is because they just want to take my rights away. So you understand where I stand on the speed limits. Yeah. And I know that 90% of you are screaming at me right now because you don't see it.
Grandpa, speed up!
Exactly right. In fact, I was watching an Instagram yesterday of a guy that was showing people how to drive, and you go, if you're merging, you come up to the speed or a little over the speed limit, and then you go in, and he was talking about people who enter the roadway slowly, and he was like, this is a bait, and then if you go into this road, it's the speed limit is or as fast as you feel comfortable, and I thought, that is not the law.
As fast, again, back
was
to the
someone who
Bruce
was-
St. James of it all.
He was talking about how you just, if somebody's merging, get out of the way, let them in, that kind of thing, right? He was talking about basic courtesies, and except that he had in his mind that basic driving is when you're in this lane, it's for passing and speeding.
What made you bring all this up?
I'm glad you got me back on track. So you know Mark Fincham. He's the legislator who got caught speeding. He was doing 48 and a 30 in Prescott.
Well, he thought it was a 45.
Oh, you know what? Scrap it. We'll find something else to talk about.
I mean,
Yeah.
didn't you know that's another law, too? If you think the speed limit
If I
is
thought the
different,
law was,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if the cops pull you over in a 55
Yeah.
and you're going like 68,
Uh-huh.
if you think it's a 65, you should really be fine. Granted, you'd still be speeding.
I didn't know that's how it worked.
That works that way to Fincham.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I guess I didn't get that memo.
No.
Yeah, interesting.
We're missing a lot of memos.
So, yeah, Fincham says that he's driven this road for 2 years. Now, what he doesn't realize is that some of us know the road a little bit. In fact, I was talking with Gail Bass, who she owns a place up there.
Mm-hmm.
I lived up there for a couple of years. I started my Arizona radio career. First tour of duty was in Prescott.
You're pretty familiar with
and
where
I-
Fincham was driving.
And I took that road to work periodically. I found different routes because, stalkers. So I know that is, in fact, I got pulled over there on Christmas Day one time. And here's what I know. It is a pain in the butt road where the police like to sit because the speed limit feels like, to his credit, it does feel like it should be faster, but it's 30. And everybody knows it's 30. And everybody knows that lives there that the police like to set up on that road.
Because the cops know it's 30, and they know they're
Exactly.
probably going to catch you doing something in the 40s.
And let me tell you what doesn't work when the police pull you over. Oh, I thought the speed limit was 45. The police don't go, oh, man, you got that one simple hack that gets you out of everything. Oh, if only other people knew this trick. I guess I can't write you a ticket.
Fincham did have a hack, though.
That hack is that he's a state legislator and they were in session.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes, sorry, ollie ollie oxen free.
Yeah, they gave him a ticket,
Right.
but he wrote to the chief of police in Prescott and said, we're in session.
I have legislative immunity.
Yep.
Why don't you let that ticket go? And the Prescott chief of police was like, my hands are tied. He knows the rules. He wrote the rules. So I guess I can't enforce this ticket. You're free to go, sir.
She let him go.
So now we do have, but this is not the first time this has come up. We've had other legislators.
Oh, of course.
We talked
We've
about this in the
had
past.
other legislators do the same kind of thing?
Weird that they would take advantage of a loophole in their own laws, isn't it? In order to just, speeding. Everybody knows speeding's no big deal. You're never supposed to go the speed limit.
No, the laws apply to us, not to them.
So we do have a legislator that stepped up and said, why don't we change this? Why don't we modify the state constitution so that this whole legislative immunity nonsense doesn't apply to traffic violations, such as running red lights, such as texting and driving, such as all of the other things that we just discussed.
Stop signs, all that stuff.
Right, yeah. So Quang Nguyen introduced, who's a Republican, by the way, introduced a resolution that would refer a constitutional amendment to the ballot. You and I would still have to vote on this. That says, should legislators have to live by the same laws as us? Now, the Constitution says that lawmakers are protected from arrests in all cases except, in other words, they have complete immunity except in cases of treason, which, it's pretty arbitrary. It's up for debate right now. Felony and breach of the peace.
Yeah.
Okay.
That breach of the peace one, Governor Ducey took a look at that one years ago with an executive order, and he suggested that voters should change the law after one lawmaker was busted for going 97 and a 55. He signed an executive order back in 2018 stating officers could consider criminal speeding, reckless driving, and DUIs as a breach of the peace.
Which is crazy that those things don't qualify already. We'll dive a little bit deeper into his EO a little later on in the show, but I got to ask you this before we get to Becky Lynn here. Joe, is this bill going to go anywhere? Will the legislators even let this out of committee? Remember, it's a bill that would limit their immunity.
No. You've never asked me an easier question on our lovely 2-hour program here. No, the legislature is not going to impose something that restricts their abilities.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.